Happy Star Wars Friday, everybody. We gotta talk all about Emperor Palpatine's secret contingency plan should he die. We actually got some brand new information.
Welcome, young Skywalker. I have been expecting you. I'm looking forward to completing your training. In time, you will call me Master.
There's a brand new novel called Empire Zen that informs all of this backstory and what's going on during The Last Jedi, and may have offered some clues about the origins of Supreme Leader Snoke being beyond our own galaxy. So if you're new to the channel, I do Star Wars videos every week. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. I'm even doing a special giveaway that I'll explain at the end of the video. If you haven't been reading the books since Disney bought Star Wars a couple years ago, since Force Awakens came out, there are about 4 books that take place between the events of Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens that inform what's going on, answer a whole bunch of big questions about character motivations, backstory, and this new secret Palpatine contingency plan. Most of the time we spent with Emperor Palpatine is actually during the prequels. We learn a little bit about what he's thinking inside his head. During the original trilogy, he's really just commanding the fleet, trying to turn Luke Skywalker. There's very little about his machinations that you actually learn about.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. It's a Sith legend. Darth Plagueis was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise, he could use the Force to influence the midi-chlorians to create life. He had such a knowledge of the dark side, he could even keep the ones he cared about from dying.
It's really only in the Aftermath book series that you learn about his obsession with what's going on beyond the galaxy. He's still very obsessed with the dark side of the Force, so what he does is he hoards artifacts and installations all over the galaxy trying to map the unknown regions, because he believes the origins of the Force are somewhere beyond the bounds of our galaxy, and the unknown regions is one of the most dangerous places to try and go. That's why it's called the unknown regions, because it's been so hard to map. They refer to it affectionately as a labyrinth of solar storms, rogue magnetospheres, black holes, gravity wells, and things far stranger. So I know you're like, wait a minute, what does that mean? Far stranger? What's going on in the Outer Rim? The Emperor wasn't the only one that was obsessed with the unknown regions. The Jedi had long used the planet Alum, which is in the unknown regions, as a source of kyber crystals for their lightsabers. So they would send younglings out on the Crucible ship during Clone Wars to go look for them.
The Force, made physical, a Jedi is. Comes great responsibility with that, yes? Protect others. How does a Jedi? Build your own lightsaber, you shall. But first, harvest your crystal. Each one of you must.
Many years I have been on this ship, teaching many a Jedi before you, and I will continue teaching many a Jedi after you. Call me what you want, but inside my memory banks, I contain a record of every lightsaber ever made, and the Jedi who fashioned them. Which will you choose? A simple grip? The curved approach? One inlaid with the bone of the Carthusian whale, Bastilian ore, or black onk?
If you couldn't tell, that was actually David Tennant that played that droid. He was actually a big character on Clone Wars. That's all still canon. So Emperor Palpatine knows about this, but he feels like there's even more to be learned and gained from going beyond our galaxy in finding another galaxy that's free from all the crap that's been happening with the Jedi, free from all the turmoil. So he wants a fresh start with the remnants of his empire. So one of his many contingency plans, should he die, is that he has a plan in place for the remnants of the Empire to go start anew somewhere else with trusted advisors and a new strong foundation on the dark side of the Force. But like all empires, not everybody agrees about this. So you have this really curious area of space that's really dangerous and hard to traverse. So the Emperor just continues to send expeditions out to try and find things, find a way through it so that they can go to another galaxy. But eventually they discover some ancient computational mechanisms that allow them to safely traverse through. So the Emperor sets his plan in motion should he die at the Battle of Endor. I know it sounds crazy that the Emperor, someone that powerful in the dark side of the Force, would actually believe that he was capable of death with all that prequel talk about Darth Plagueis being able to survive death. So that gets into the wills. Obviously, people learn how to make Force ghosts. The living Force becomes a really big thing. But there are books like Dark Empire where he actually does have secret clones hidden in the deep core on Biss, where he becomes a clone of himself. It was a really cool story, but that's all part of Star Wars Legends, so technically it's not canon, so you can't really take it into account. So all of this unknown regions, First Order origins, going beyond the galaxy stuff is still canon because it appears in the new books. The epic part 1 of this plan is to lure the remnants of the Rebellion's fleet to the planet Jakku, where the Empire has this secret base called the Observatory. It's one of Palpatine's secret installations where he's been hoarding things. So Palpatine chooses a successor, Gallius Rax, who's this big person in the Aftermath series. He's the leader of the Imperial fleet, but he also has another chosen successor who's a dark side Force cultist called Tashu. Remember, should he die, he wants the new Empire that will form in his wake to be founded on the dark side of the Force. So they're going to lure the rest of the rebellion to the planet Jakku and detonate a very special bomb that will blow up the planet and the rest of the rebels' fleet with it. The problem is that another Imperial officer named Rey Sloane that they introduced during Rebels, she's been in the comic book series, who's been following Gallius Rax's orders, doing all this dirty work for him, sees that he plans to detonate this bomb on Jakku, and he'll kill a bunch of Imperials with it, and just thinks that he's going to be the worst person ever to lead the new empire that's going to form. So she kills him, and what ends up happening is the rebels defeat the Imperial fleet. The Super Star Destroyer that they're on crashes to the planet, and that's what you saw in that very first Star Wars The Force Awakens trailer that Rey is scavenging parts from. Sort of like a tomb for the remnants of the Empire. But needless to say, the bomb never goes off, so the planet Jakku never blows up because Rey's there at the beginning of Force Awakens. But what happens is this new Rey Sloane character becomes Supreme Leader effectively and takes them with their special new star charts that they've discovered into the unknown regions where they begin to form the First Order. What happens next is that the Imperials build their strength and the First Order slowly starts to form in the unknown regions beyond our galaxy. Supreme Leader Snoke only arrives when they come back in full force. He didn't come from our galaxy. So what happened is that there's this mystery missing period of time when Rey Sloane took the remnants of the fleet beyond our galaxy that we don't know about yet. Snoke comes back with them. There's all this political back-channeling, black market dealings, where they begin to fund the creation of the Starkiller base, and that leads us to the beginning of Force Awakens. The really interesting thing about this is that Star Wars hasn't dealt too much with things happening outside the galaxy itself. The Yuuzhan Vong was a race of beings that Luke Skywalker's disciples fought in the Legends books, the now Legends books. It's not canon anymore, but there are a lot of creatures that live beyond our galaxy, so it makes sense that other galaxies are just as biodiverse as our own galaxy in Star Wars. So that's not the race that Snoke comes from, but it just helps support the claim that Emperor Palpatine was correct when he assumed that the nature of the Force came from something beyond our own galaxy. It's not just all completely localized to our galaxy. That'd be a very egocentric view of the Force. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about the idea of Snoke being someone from beyond our own galaxy? It would certainly explain how he was not around during the events of the original trilogy during the prequels, but he is also Force sensitive. So there's a whole bunch more backstory they reveal in this Empire's End book, so I'd recommend that you check it out, but I'll continue to do bonus videos about it. You just learn all kinds of really awesome things about the characters between Return of the Jedi and the modern film, so it's going to be a lot of fun to pick through it, so I'll continue that on my Star Wars Friday next week. But because the Rogue One DVD is coming out, that's what the giveaway is going to be for now, so all you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. I'll announce the winner the next time I post a Star Wars video. So what's going to happen later today is there's some really cool Injustice footage that dropped that I'll do a trailer video for. There's some cool Deadpool news about him spinning off the X-Force movies, so we'll try to get through that as fast as possible. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. While you wait for that to post, you can click here to learn about Leia's backstory with Supreme Leader Snoke, and you can click here to learn all about what's going on with the brand new Nightwing movie that's coming.